Uh, yes, I think indeed we will have some fun today. Once again, here we are broadcasting from the studios of WINNMedia 98.9, and we're actually celebrating our 22nd anniversary in broadcasting. We're downtown Bastille in the Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis, what I call my double slice of paradise. And I want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening for the many folks out there in the many time zones who are logged on to this particular medium, whether by internet or by your telephone lines. We connect and we have a wonderful discourse that adds to, well, the national, international debate around the world. So I want to welcome you one more time to another presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates. I'm standing alone today on telephone lines open. But of course, I got Jamster holding on the controls. But we'll get into that and a whole lot more after we give credit to our sponsors, after which we'll be right back.
Chip, chip, chip. We want to get chip, chip, chip.
Give your little smartie the perfect smart start for their future with CHIP, the child investment plan from TDC Financial Services. Invest in your child's next step, and we know what's next is always changing.
Chip, chip, chip. We want to get chip, chip, chip.
CHIP is a long-term plan with no minimum deposit, no monthly commitment, and you're guaranteed a special high interest rate per annum.
I want chip. I want chip too.
Visit TDC Financial Services today and get CHIP, the child investment plan, providing the best head start for every child.
Chip, chip, chip. We want to get chip, chip, chip.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put a Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. He are a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Flow stands with West Indies fans behind We Cricket. Be a part of the excitement when you sign up for any broadband or postpaid plan and get a chance to win a trip for two to an ICC Men's T20 World Cup match in Antigua. Get two chances if you sign up for both. Visit discoverflow.co to sign up or upgrade. Promotion ends June 15. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, official telecom supporter of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup.
Once again, greetings and salutations to our many fans and, out there in the wider world. You want to say good morning to Miss Rosemary Donald. She's normally logged in, and she missed me on, was it Friday? But she enjoyed Jamster. She heard your voice on and stuff like that. So that was much appreciated. Dr. Leader up there in the U.S., we have, of course, Dr. Sweeney. We have Mr. Valentine Monish. We have, Sister Cecily Henry. And the many folks who are tuned, and many callers. Carl Brown, good morning, how are you doing? Who make this program the success that it is. Now, Friday, because the station was carrying the PM's press conference, I think it was, I was unable to present except for the very last half hour. But before I got here, I'd made some footnotes about topics I wanted to present on. One was to give congrats to the police throughout the Federation for the good job they're doing in terms of their quick capture of a suspect in that last murder in Nevis. Oftentimes we question what are the police doing and they're not doing anything. And within the last three major crimes, I think they've done wonderfully well in terms of being able to investigate and arrest persons in the relevant charges. So we want to say congrats to the police on that front. I also wanted to congratulate Attorney Natasha Gray Brooks on being elected the first female leader of the People's Action Movement. We know we know her. Folks know she's been immersed in PAM from almost infancy. And so I think congratulations are in order for attaining that distinction, being the first female leader of, I would say, a major party in SKN. So congrats due to her. These were topics I had highlighted for last Wednesday. You don't have it? Okay, I'm going to have to resend it because there's something I want to discuss that a lot of folks have discounted, and it relates to information that Marcus Garvey was actually born on St. Kitts. I've discussed this before, had discussion with many persons. As a matter of fact, there's a Derek Hazel in Sandy Point who claims that in growing up, there was a clip of Marcus Garvey himself on a broadcast, and then his mom said to him, well, that's your family because he was born here, and she went into the details which she shared with him about his birth in St. Kitts before migrating to Jamaica. And he has many documents. He has what he claims to be his baptismal records, being born in St. Anne's in Sandy Point. And there are other persons who, knowing the history, would have corroborated it. I brought it to the airways, and amongst the many persons who discounted it was Ras Kalonji. He said outright, well, I heard it before, but research says he was born in Jamaica. While I'm speaking, I'm trying to find a clip that deals with a conversation I had last week with a 95-year-old lady. Okay, I just found it. I'm going to forward it to a good friend Jamster so he can play it for the airways. Yes, this discussion I had with this 95-year-old lady who was on a cruise celebrating her birthday, amongst all things. And for some reason, I got into a conversation with her, and she was proud to let me know that her father was born on St. Kitts. She recounted the year that he left St. Kitts to live in New York. She recounted her life and the conversations that she had with her father, who told her that the understanding was that Marcus Garvey was actually born on St. Kitts, and he migrated to Jamaica before going to the U.S. Now, there are some correlations with documents. Example, the baptismal record that Mr. Hazel has speaks of him being born in St. Anne's, Sandy Point, St. Anne's Parish. On his other document, he's recorded as being born in St. Anne's Bay, Jamaica. And the family names, and there's an overlapping of the family names and the time frame. All right. So I'm going to see if I get that to you so you can play it, where you can listen to her in her words, describing what she recalls her father telling her at 95, very lucid, great recall. And we had this wonderful conversation. And she was proud to say, my father was born in St. Kitts, the name of her father, the date of his birth, when he migrated to here. And I'm thinking, at 95, you got this records down pat. I'm trying to get this thing so I can send to you. Right? I know I sent it last week. Let me step away for a second because I need to have it. I'm all thumbs at the moment. But yes, that was that conversation. I think I'll speak for a while. I don't want to step away from the microphone. Maybe when we get to a commercial break, I can be able to send it. Yes, we had a discussion. I think I sent you an email. You may not have it there, but try WhatsApp. But I believe I sent it to your email because I really wanted to share this with the public. No, last Wednesday. No, when was I here? Last Friday? Was Friday then? Yeah, because I spoke with her on Wednesday. She was on a cruise. We met at the Rival Hall. We had this very, very wonderful discussion. And you don't have it in your box. Friday would be today is what? So that would be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Hey, where we have to count fingers when we get to a certain age. Sister Sylvian Henry, how are you doing? Chris Collins? Yes. If the lines are open, let's take a call. Go to caller, you're live on Voices.
Good morning, the king.
Good morning, sir.
This
How
is
about
me.
now? You sure it's me? Because I thought it was me.
Mimi.
Is it you or me? Which one?
Mimi.
Because if I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you. You say it's me, so I'm not talking to me.
Well, me talking back to me.
Okay. Go right ahead.
Yeah, well, all is clear now. I got the green light.
From?
I can catch Win FM.
Oh, congratulations. I knew that they were working on their outreach, right, so I'm happy that you're back on.
Because I've been agitating for it for a lot of months.
Uh-huh.
And Jamster told me that they were working on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy.
Well, we haven't heard from you for some time, so congratulations. Being able to entertain us once again, so you got the mic.
Yeah. First of all, let me say this here. This is culture. Congratulating Miss Gray for the People's Action Movement. And I would like to wish her all the best. And my advice to her is this. Anybody come to her with any garbage and trash, tell them back off. If you cannot go and give her constructive, positive, nation-building advice, tell them that she don't want to hear nothing. Do not go and spoil the lady's future. She's a good lady. She's a great woman. And great things can come from her. From the way I heard her speak in the little couple of years gone by.
Okay.
So again to her, congratulations. Now, you remember you were supposed to have something up 17 degrees. And then Mr. COVID come.
Yes.
And he mashed it up. Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and then, you were supposed to get the greatest comedian in the island, which is Turkey the Gun.
Yep.
Yeah, what has become of him?
He is still alive and kicking.
Yeah,
You know?
he's alive. Yeah.
The original, etc.
Okay.
He is not as hale and hearty as he was yesteryear.
Uh-huh.
Suffice it to say, he's still alive and kicking. As a matter of fact, I had a discussion with one of his daughters about him being on a particular show.
Uh-huh.
And she would have arranged the transportation, not leaving him to go on the normal public route, buses.
Right.
She was supposed to arrange his transportation, taking him back and forth. And I think that proved some difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
And so she let me know because of that. At that particular time, it could not be undertaken.
Okay.
So I did have the discussion. I did put things in place. But he's no longer the person in charge of or looking after his own affairs. His daughter is. And she says no problem once she can arrange the transportation to get him there and back home. But it didn't quite work out. She called me ahead of time to let me know. So that's why that didn't come to fruition.
Yeah, because you see, your show will be a mini music festival. Because you got what it takes to draw the crowd.
Me?
Yeah. You can't see yourself, but I could see you.
I see.
So that's why I'm telling you that.
Well, I appreciate the regards that you hold me in, but,
I hold you in. It's a lot of people got you in it.
Much appreciated, much appreciated.
And I know you ain't going to blow your own bugle.
I don't have one. That's the whole thing.
That's why I'm blowing it for you.
Okay.
And so when you get the chance and the opportunity, go forward. Because you never know. Someone else in a wheelchair might come there too.
Thank you very much for your encouragement.
Okay.
Right? I do appreciate you driving your Mercedes on the stage some years ago.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that. You and the hunks and the lady Sharon from St. Peter's. I
Right.
do appreciate that.
Buckley's.
Yeah. Well, she live in the not St. Peter's area, Buckley side area above there.
Yeah,
You're
right. Upper Buckley. Well, now I can listen. Now I can listen constructive talk show.
Okay. I want you to
no
listen to the
one
clip
side
that
will-
Jamster will play for us. And if you have a chance, give me a feedback on it.
Okay.
You have it, Jamster? Okay. Let's take a listen to Miss Yvonne Lambie. 95-year young lady I spoke with last week doing inside the arrival hall at Port Zante. She was on a cruise with her daughter. Engagement conversation. And this is the uptake from that conversation, corroboration on what people have been saying for a very long time, that Marcus Garvey was born in Sandy Point, St. Kitts. Jamster, take it
I'll
away.
hang up.
Hello, my name is Yvonne Lambie. I was born and brought up in New York City, but my father was born in St. Kitts. I am 95 years of age, born June 14, 1929, and my father was born 1887. And he told me the story about Marcus Garvey. My father was very helpful with Marcus Garvey in New York City, trying to purchase the ship to take us back to our native Africa.
And tell them where Marcus Garvey came from. Your father
And my
told
father told me that he heard that Marcus Garvey was not born in Jamaica, that he was originally from St. Kitts, but relocated to Jamaica before arriving in New York City.
That's perfect. Are you recalling your father's name?
My father's name was John Grimes, Grimes,
from St. Kitts.
in St. Kitts. He left this island, I think it was about 1899, to arrive in New York City.
This is valid information and corroboration with those who are advocating that Marcus Garvey was actually born in St. Kitts.
Yes.
Here we are, with 95 years old, and recounting the story that your father told you about the connections of Marcus Garvey being born in St. Kitts. So this is invaluable information.
Yes.
I'm going to share my information with your daughter, my contacts,
Yes.
so we can perhaps continue the dialogue.
Okay.
So I would love to hear more about you, growing up in New York.
Yes.
Right?
I was a New York school teacher for 52
Educator?
years. Yes. 52 years.
The last educator I interviewed is now 102 years old,
Oh, wow.
Miss Riven in Sandy Point. There was another one, she was 93 years old at the time of the interview, and you have so much to share with the world.
That's
So
right.
here you are now educating us once again. I do
Exactly.
appreciate that.
And
Okay.
love the beautiful, pleasant smile.
You talking about yours? Yeah, I agree. Okay, on that note, we're going to go downtown and give Caesar his credit. Come back and see if we get more folks engaged in this little conversation.
From the South, 98.9. Win FM.
Floor stands with West Indies fans behind We Cricket. Be a part of the excitement when you sign up for any broadband or postpaid plan and get a chance to win a trip for two to an ICC Men's T20 World Cup match in Antigua. Get two chances if you sign up for both. Visit discoverflow.co to sign up or upgrade. Promotion ends June 15. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, official telecom supporter of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup.
If you think the TDC 10 sale at Home and Building was massive, then we have another one for you. TDC Automotive Division in St. Kitts is having a massive spare parts sale. This and every Friday until June 28th, 2024. Not 50 or 60 or 70, but up to 85% off genuine spare parts. You heard me right. We got shocks, bearings, brakes, pads, belts, spark plugs, hoses, rods, horns, headlamps, mirrors, bulbs, and much more. Everything must go. Sorry, I'm so tired. This and every Friday until June 28th, 2024. Go to TDC Automotive Division at the C.A. Paul Southwood Industrial Site in St. Kitts for this massive spare parts sale. Terms and conditions apply. See store for details. Remember, at TDC, together we succeed.
To our viewers and listeners, welcome back to today's presentation of Voices. My name is Socrates, and we just played a clip. Let me interrupt myself. There is a call online. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Hi, good morning, the King.
Africa in the house. Good day to you, sir.
I'm here in the circus. I'm listening.
Well, it's a good place to listen from, so let's hear your feedback on what time we played a while ago.
Yes, the King. That interview with the lady there is so timely, so timely, so timely. I normally call, like I just called and told you my location.
Mm-hmm.
On Monday, I called in, but Jamster was at the concert, and I told him I was at Brimstone Hill. So I was on a tour with a couple. They live in Orlando, Florida, but they hail from Jamaica. So whilst on the tour, I was tracking the parishes in St. Kitts. I told them that there are 9 parishes on St. Kitts.
That's correct.
5 on Nevis. The only St. James is the one that we don't have on St. Kitts, which St. James is on Nevis. But all of the other named parishes on Nevis, we do have here also. Okay? When we got to Sandy Point, remind you, they're from Jamaica. They was born in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
When we got to Sandy Point, the King, I said, this is St. Anne's Parish,
Mm-hmm.
where Marcus Garvey was born.
You said that? You said that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I said that, and it opened up a whole discussion. At the end of the tour,
Uh-huh.
the lady, she has an Apple phone. And she said to me, do you know how much I was attempting, I was trying, but the voice recognition, the recording, it didn't work. Because she said, I deserve being recorded. And I say, it would have been welcome, but you don't tell me that you would record me. Because I want to be at my height, at my zenith, and that I want to be myself when I'm touring. Unbeknown to me, if you do it, I'll appreciate it. But don't tell me. It might just show me off on my game. You know what I mean? But
Okay, got you.
You deserve being recorded because you have educated us.
Mm-hmm.
You have educated us so much. And we being Caribbean people, you have given us this aspect. What is the St. Anne's and the Marcus Garvey, the birthplace of Marcus Garvey, that they so appreciated it. Because, of course, in Jamaica, St. Anne's also.
St. Anne's Bay.
And I told her there are so many Garvey family here. Not only that, I told her before Jamaica became a British colony, there was a Spanish colony.
That's correct.
Not only that, when we got to Halfway Tree, there's a Halfway Tree
in Jamaica. Mm-hmm.
Also. So the conversation that we had was so high, and the correlation and the names. Because I read in documentary where maybe planters from Nevis, they probably was planters, but they went along with, persons on the estate that they went to Jamaica and set up shop. Do you know that the Yarwood family, they are prominent in Barbados?
Yes, of course.
Do you know that the Gibbons
Of
family,
course.
they are prominent in Barbados?
I'm not sure about the Gibbons, but the Yarwood family are involved. But here's my question. Here's my question to you.
With Barbadians.
Here's my question to you, sir. What was the foundation for telling them that Marcus Garvey was actually born in St. Anne's Parish, Sandy Point? What was the foundation for saying that?
It hinged on some information that I was privy to, but it also hinged on, and I did mention of his visit to the MIS hall down at Market Street.
Correct.
So it hinged on the information that I was privy to, and it also hinged on he coming back home. And speaking of the Garden of Paradise, the Garden of making think it's the Garden of Eden that it has the potential to be.
Also, the conversations recounted between him and Carleen Morton's father, Mr. Mack, in Sandy Point.
Right.
They were friends. There are some who suggested that they were childhood friends. But he thanked him for his hospitality and all the different things and all the different things. That's part of the record.
I also included Louis Farrakhan. His mother was born here.
Market Street.
And we had a whole conversation about the Caribbean contribution to the U.S. and so forth with Malcolm X, parent of one of his parents was
Grenada.
born in Grenada. And all of that came out in the conversation. You understand? So this here, that clip that you played consolidated the fact that there is so many other things. And the migration. We also spoke about the contingent that came from the country of Sierra Leone or Liberia to Barbados, where they when they migrated to Barbados. Remember that the lady said that she was, her father was instrumental in getting the boat to go back home.
She said that she says the instrumental. She was saying my father was instrumental, but then she says he assisted, to paraphrase, Marcus Garvey in raising funds to buy the boat, the Black Star Liner, to go back to our native Africa.
Right.
So here's corroboration about a conversation that I've had here on WINFM, based on the documents I was given by Mr. Hazel, who was a classmate of mine. Right? I spoke with other historians who were like, they were vague on the idea, because Jamaica and even Rascolungi here in St. Kitts saying that's not true. But here comes this lady on a cruise celebrating her 95th birthday and open a conversation. She was an educator for over 51 years. I mean, her mind is still...
And not only the date of her birth, the date of her father's birth.
Recounting data.
Also.
Yes. When he left here.
So, the thing, what was what used to retard the repatriation, which is one of the 10-point plans for the
reparations.
You know what retarded it? Especially going to England and persons who really, really wanted to go back home.
Migration.
They was being discouraged when they got to England. Not to further it. Even being enticed by, come on, you found a girlfriend, man. Settle down and, marry up and get children and forget about going back home.
There was also
a lot of people
assimilation through economic pressures
from the Caribbean. But when they got to the UK, especially, because that was like a more transshipment point. To the U.S. in a less extent, but it would have been a more launching pad from the UK to go across the Atlantic, as opposed to the U.S. that maybe later on there were direct flights across the Atlantic, but so much the UK with the British Airways is one of those earlier airlines.
Okay. But she said her father left here in 1899 thereabouts to go to live in New York. So we can do some research and find out, because she said that he was instrumental in helping Marcus Garvey raise funds to buy the boat. I mean, that's history.
There was an early basketball team from the New York area. And I think there was a Kittitian national who used to play on that basketball team, was of in the coaching, something to that effect. New York.
Globetrotters?
To get the back, huh?
Before the Globetrotters?
Something of that nature. Yeah, but there was an early petition national that was there.
Okay.
So our people migrated and lived in those areas and made the contribution. Likewise, others. You know, we have heard of those guys who have started the Pan-African movement.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from Trinidad and Tobago and so. You know.
Quick story about Farrakhan, right? When he first came here, I was the one who took him to meet the then Prime Minister, Dr. Simmons. I don't know if you recall, Dr. Simmons had a cousin who was a photographer living up Marcus Street. I forget his name, but he was a photographer. And he brought an LP, long playing record for those who don't know, of Farrakhan singing Calypso. He was known in Calypso circles in Trinidad as a mighty charmer. But upon meeting the Prime Minister, he cried like a baby. He said he always heard his mother speak about St. Kitts and his people. And his one regret is not coming here to meet his mother's people before she died. You know?
Because I met him at Carabel Petit. And when I saw him, one of his guards
was
more apprehensive, like, you know. And he said, no, let him come.
Mm-hmm.
And then he asked me if I was Muslim. I said, I am Muslim, I am Christian, I am all of that and more. And then we went into a historical conversation, you know what I mean? And why I said I was Muslim, I was Christian and more, because the foundation that Africa loaned to the world, the religious world also, the foundation was laid for Christianity, Islam, and all of the other religious known Abrahamic religions. You know? So he understood where I was coming from. And I have listened to so many of his speeches where he would reiterate that his mother was born in St. Kitts.
Marcus Street, to be precise.
Right. The gentleman
Sorry, College Street.
Trinidad,
Marcus Street.
The name was George Padmore. Was very instrumental in the first move of Pan-Africanism, because it's like Pan-Africanism was like the yearning and the desire to really go back home. All things about repatriation and getting to reconnect with the continent. George Padmore and another gentleman from Trinidad and Tobago was very, very instrumental earlier. And then those African leaders like Kwame Nkrumah and others, they studied it. Marcus Garvey and George Padmore and others.
The inspiration for the flag of Ghana came from Garvey's philosophy about the Black Star Liner. That ship that will repatriate the people back to Africa. And that is why you have that one black star in the flag of Ghana. It came from the inspiration of Marcus Garvey. George Padmore is one of the persons I sang about in the last competition. Right? The song was entitled Heroes of the Caribbean. Well, I was told that political commentary is my forte. So when I branch off into these intellectual discourses, the judges don't hear me. But George Padmore was one of the persons I mentioned. I think there's a need for people to know history and our true leaders. So George Padmore is mentioned in that song as one of the many heroes of the Caribbean. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
They migrated to the UK early in the scheme of things, you know?
Okay.
And then the Windrush came, and then other migration took place to help to build back London and the bombed out cities from the war.
Bombardment,
World
yes.
War II.
Correct.
And then the UK Prime Minister who went to Jamaica, David Cameron, with the audacity about building prisons, when we know from the lecture last there with the lady, June Summer, when we know that there were more police stations and prisons in Jamaica leading up to Jamaica's independence than there were schools.
They have built one hospital or one school I was in London when Cameron made that comment. It was about what do you do with the Jamaicans and West Indian nationals who will be leaving prison. And he thought the best thing to do is to build a jail in Jamaica for them. That was he said it. And that was the aid he wanted to offer to Jamaica. Build a jail to send back nationals from Jamaica.
We'll speak on other things like the amputees, our amputee rate in the Caribbean, all in Barbados and so. So it's not even the intellectual property of we having those facilities to excel, to meet the growing world and the market in terms of our intellectual abilities, but also our health, how we were fed on these salt pickle and saltfish, and even still today, where the diabetes rate amongst us and hypertension, the diabetes will lead to amputees. So it's a holistic approach. We have to approach this thing. Not just only the migration back to Africa, but the relinking with those in the diaspora and those in
Sadly,
Africa.
Sadly, though.
And claiming our birthright. Because in spite of the exploit, according to Dr. Ericano Chirambarikwa, is only 15% of the exploitation that was taken out of Africa. So here's it. We have 85% that we can build the diaspora and the continent, we being the 6 regions, according to the African Union.
Okay.
You meant to say something else?
I was saying, sadly, though, we don't pay attention to a lot of Calypso because what you were saying about how the diet affected us, or still is affecting us, has been chronicled in a song rendered by Lady Diva called To Be Cancer Free. Right?
Yes.
And the line, if I recall, says, if a diet of sugar and salt for 400 years was fed on the plantation, right? And she goes on to explain how it has affected us. I don't recall it at the moment, but all that is recorded in a Calypso. So as part of what Professor Beckles would have mentioned and Dr. Soam would have done at the last thing is also recorded in Calypso.
Yes, the king. And a lot of our people, our very, very own people, have bought into the notion that we want to be revengeful. We want to be revengeful as to those who have avenged these ills to us. How can we be revengeful when we are the parents of them? I mean, so many mothers, so many parents have suffered from some things that children have done to them. But yet, those parents have still showed love, and continue to show love to their children, as devious as they are. So this is our approach. We don't want to be revengeful because we have fed the whole world, because we recognize them as our children. And rightly so, they is our children. They are the last branch. The Caucasians are the last branch of many branches that sprang from our roots. And there's no ifs, no ands, and no buts about it. But we don't want to be revengeful, because that is not in us. All of that, what came out of what they display, is what came out of us. We did not display that, but it was displayed by our offspring. And somehow, it's calmness, tranquility that came out of chaos. It's order that came out of chaos. Because it was chaos that started it. It was the waters of Nun, where they call Noah, and sailing on a boat. It was Nun. It was the embryotic fluid, water of the pregnant woman and the 40-week gestation of the baby within, where everything started.
Okay.
So we don't want to display that there because it came out to our offspring, which happened to be the Caucasian and other peoples today. We have to claim it because it's our. We have to heal. We have to start the conversation.
Take a hint, Africa.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I'm still listening, the king.
Okay, thanks for your contribution.
I can go on
Much
and on.
appreciated. I know you can. That's what you take a hint. Right?
All right, thanks.
Anyway, do we have any call on the line at the moment? Okay, let's go back downtown. I want to go into a different topic when we come back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
Magnum, my brand. Everybody put a Magnum in the air now. From you a drink Magnum, make me see. Take charge of things now your place now. From the river to the beach to the street. Hot Magnum when me have in a me hand there. He are a sipper, she tell me sweet. Look for me watch for your quick time check. Yeah. Right now a Magnum for your beat. Enjoy yourself every day of the week with a Magnum. My life I forget sweeter. Must be 18 years and older to drink. Drink responsibly.
Floor stands with West Indies fans behind We Cricket. Be a part of the excitement when you sign up for any broadband or postpaid plan and get a chance to win a trip for two to an ICC Men's T20 World Cup match in Antigua. Get 2 chances if you sign up for both. Visit discoverflow.co to sign up or upgrade. Promotion ends June 15th. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, official telecom supporter of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup.
TDC Financial Services. We're here for you to help you make your dreams come true. Whether your needs are big or small, we'll support you with them all. TDC Financial Services. We are strong. TDC Financial Services. This is where you belong.
TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Okay, at 11:42, we go straight to the phone lines. Go to caller, you're live on Voices. Okay. In the meantime, we have a contribution from the awesome navigator in reference to something that Africa said. We have a caller line now? Okay, go to caller, you're live on Voices.
Good morning, the king.
Mr. Brown is in town. What's going on? What's going down? I wonder why me clearly. Mr. Brown is in town to let us know what's going down. Sound good?
Okay. Open line, right?
Open line.
Okay. Here, yeah. I am asking the news department because on Monday I gave them some information concerning.
Which news department? WINNFM or SKN News? Which news department? WINNFM or SKN News? Which one?
WINNFM News Department.
Okay.
I am asking if they did check with the Sandy Point Police Station concerning if there was a fire in St. Paul's where 2 property was burned and a gentleman ended up in the hospital with burns. And would you believe up to now the king, the representative for that area, has not visited that family?
Is he overseas?
No, he's right here on the island.
Okay. Well, as far you know, was the ambulance service and fire rescue, was they able to respond in time?
No, they were calling the friends and neighbors was calling 911 and they couldn't get through, and they said the fire truck stayed so long. Neighbors and friends had to jump in the vehicle and rush to Sandy Point to get the fire truck to St. Paul's.
Okay.
By the time they got there, the alleged information is that the man lost everything and he was burned and he was taken to the hospital. He was in hospital.
Okay.
Up to Sunday, he was still hospitalized.
So you're saying that the phone lines weren't working properly? The emergency call. Well, do we have a 911 here?
911, they said they were calling. And they said they was told by representative of fire. That's what the people down there allegedly said, that they say don't call 911. So it has to be that they know it was not working.
Okay.
And the other thing about it is that there is pipe and hose in the yard and by the neighbors. And when they go to get these hose and turn on, no water was there.
Okay. Sad though.
The thing is, I am asking if the news department have checked with the Ministry of Tourism and possibly the minister or the PS concerning vacate letters out of the Pelican Mall, because some of the tenants down there are so much of thousands of dollars. They would have received some letters to vacate. A few have vacated already.
Okay.
And then the other thing is, the king, if the news department also check with the tourism department, because those people down on the bay with those boots, they are owing lots of monies in rent,
You mean by the terminal?
water, and electricity too.
By the terminal, the bus terminal.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the minister had a meeting with them a few weeks ago and informing them of her knowledge of their high rate of rent, which they are not paying, and water and lights.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is, I see Diamond Jewelry Store in Port Dante move out at the end of the month.
Okay.
Yeah, the last thing, the king, I see the lotto company which sell lottos here does be advertising, come and buy the lottos, and you must be 21 years and over. The question is, the king, when you go to buy the lotto, they don't ask for no ID. What if your child or
wins,
a relative of yours, or anybody go and buy a lotto ticket, possibly think of some numbers, random numbers, and go and buy a lotto ticket. They are 17, 18, and they win the lotto, where you know now they're going to want ID.
It's okay.
Right? Now, they are claiming that you must be 21 years and over to play the lotto. Now, what if our 18-year-old family won that lotto sometime this week? What they're going to do now, what they're going to say here, they have to wait till they're 21 years to collect the money? Because remember, when they buy the ticket, they ask for no idea.
But Carl, the age of consent is 16. At 18, you can vote, you can get a driver's license, you're considered an adult, you're in the civil service. Right? So what is this requirement that you have to be 21 and over to buy a lottery ticket? Aren't you considered an adult at 18?
That's the next thing the news department should check the lotto office and find out why they have that requirement. Because at age 16, you're an adult here in the Federation.
I don't know if you can join the civil service as a police officer and stuff like that. At 16, I think 18 is the minimum requirement in terms of the age. But in terms of buying a lotto ticket, I would assume if you're 18 and over, that's your legal voting age, you should be able to buy a lotto ticket.
But from the time you're 16, you're an adult here in the Federation.
Okay, well.
So if our 16-year-old or 18-year-old family friend or whatever go to buy the lotto ticket and win the lotto, I hope they won't come up with no nonsense that they have a requirement that you have to be 21 years and over, because when you buy the ticket, nobody asks you how old or how young you are.
Okay. Well, I hope as you said, you want to know.
The lotto need to clear up something there for us.
You called because you wanted to know if the news department followed up on the information that you provided. I don't know. Maybe Jamster or the folks upstairs can address that. But I can ask the question, and if you call back, I can tell you yes or no.
Yeah, okay.
But thanks for being vigilant.
Yes, man.
Right? Much appreciated. I want to share something that was sent to me by the awesome navigator down there in SP. It referenced something that was said by Africa about the basketball player in New York being from St. Kitts. And he was trying to remember the name of the team. I know it would be the Globetrotters. So Navigator writes, the Globetrotters is the name of that basketball team. Bob Douglas was from Newton Ground, St. Kitts, and very instrumental and the founding father of the basketball team. Do we have a call? Let's take this caller. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Good day, Socrates.
And blessed day to you.
Audience.
Mm-hmm.
Good day. Yes. Greetings in Jesus' name. The only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell. And the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, first of all, I would like to say that you were talking earlier about women and in politics.
Yes.
And like I've said in another program, and I'm going to say...
Firstly, to be clarified, for those who I was sending congratulations to Ms. Thatcher Gray on being the first female to be elected to and leading a major political party in our federation.
Yes, you were saying that. And
yes.
I would like to say, and you get people angry every time I say, but still is what the Bible says, that women in leadership positions, be it in government, the family or in the church goes against the Bible. And when you have women in leadership position in the church, that's part of God's judgment on the church, as a sign of God's judgment on the church. When that is in the family, when a woman takes over the head of a family, I'm not saying that the husband did and she's put in that position, but when you do have, as in many families, the father is there, but the woman is running the family instead of the father, that is a sign also of God's judgment on that family. And the same thing when women are in leadership positions in government over countries, that is also a sign of God's judgment on that country as well. And those are not good positions.
Okay.
Those are not good things. Those are bad things.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
When a woman in Old Testament time and even current day in the so-called Middle East is found guilty of adultery, she is stoned to death. The men get away scot-free. They're not punished in any way, shape, or form. What is that?
Well, that is not the Bible teaching. The Bible teaching is that both of them are supposed to be stoned to death. Both of them. No, I'm going to say something. I'll say it more than once. This passage in the New Testament where this woman was caught in adultery, contrary to what a lot of people think, when you research the copies of the original in the Greek language, and when you research the copies, that particular story is not. There's no assurance that particular story is authentically scriptural. That passage is very questionable, and I don't base teachings or beliefs on passages that are questionable where the Bible is concerned. When you through textual criticism examine the original copies of the original manuscripts, so a lot of people like to use that passage. I don't use it because at the very best, it is a very questionable passage.
And incomplete.
Where scriptures is concerned.
Okay.
Yeah. But where the Bible is concerned, though, both of them are supposed to be put to death.
Okay,
not
back to Miss
just the
Gray.
woman alone.
Okay, back to Miss
I do
Gray.
not know how,
Back to Miss Gray now. I got your point. I want you to hear your point of view on that. Okay, back to Miss Gray. So you don't think she should be congratulated?
I don't want to, because I don't want it to come out as a personal thing, because it ain't just she alone. I'm talking about in general where women in leadership in government and that sort of stuff. I don't want to focus on shit because it ain't a personal thing.
I understand.
What I'm saying is that women, okay, the Bible tell you, for example, in Exodus chapter 18, verse 21, it gives you, for example, the qualifications of someone who is supposed to be a civil leader and judge. And it used the masculine pronoun he. He should be this, he should be that, he should be, you know. But the standard in the New Testament has even raised higher, where in Romans 13, ministers of government are called, in the original Greek language, deacons. So a more literal translation is that ministers of government in Romans chapter 13 in the New Testament are called deacons of God, as the King James and other translations, some may say servants of God or ministers of God, but the Greek literal translation is deacons of God. So it even raised to a higher standard in the New Testament where the church, as Jesus Christ said, is the example to the whole world, and leaders in government are also called deacons of God, ministers of God, servants of God, to show that government is not a secular thing. Government is a biblical thing, because it also said in that passage, God foreordained government. God foreordained government, not man. Man did not foreordain government. Man did not put government here. It's God who put government as an institution for us today.
Okay.
It's a biblical thing.
Okay, we got 4 minutes before we close play today, so I have a question to ask before you leave, but go ahead.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that now that the standard has risen, today the government minister supposed to at least meet the standards of that of a deacon in the church, which part of it is being a male, godly Christian male filled with the knowledge of God.
No
filled with
females.
the word of God, filled with the spirit of God.
No
Yes,
females.
you know that,
No females.
No females, and not only that, no males who have not meet the qualification
Requirements.
of being a deacon in where the government, where church is concerned.
So by
no male who have not meet that qualification. Hello?
by that philosophy, having a female governor general here in St. Kitts Nevis, God would frown upon that, and the country, the nation would not progress or find the favor of God.
Yeah, all of that, including the Queen of England, well, the late Queen of England, really, and including well, he's not a woman, but he's not a godly man, King Charles. All of these are things that are signs to your country that, hey, you're under the judgment of God and you need to repent. You're doing things wrong. You need to repent of your disobedience to the Bible, and you need to start to obey the Bible as individuals and as a society. That is a sign, not the only sign, but a sign that, hey, you need to repent and get right with the Bible.
So if you want to be right with God, we shouldn't have a female governor general, any female in leadership position in politics or in government.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But obviously, it means more than that. It means you have to start with repentance, biblical repentance. You have to start with that, because most of the governments in the world are men, and yet the countries are still under the judgment of God.
Okay.
Right? So I'm saying that is only a sign. It's not the only sign. It's just a sign.
Okay.
When you say that, but there are many others. For example, men who does not meet the biblical qualifications of a church deacon. That is also a sign to your country that your country is under the judgment of God, which is basically all countries today in the world.
Okay. We have just about 1 minute to go before we break for the Win FM Media Newscast. I want to thank you for your perspective, that you are not shy with sharing. At least you're steadfast in your belief and, your faith. So I want to appreciate that, because it makes for a great debate, right? So thank you once again for your contribution, okay? Okay, Robert L. Douglas, born in St. Kitts, November 4th, 1882, something unknown. July 16th, 1979, was the founder of the New York Renaissance basketball team, the first fully black, professional black-owned basketball team, and of course they were known as the Harlem Globetrotters. What we're reading here, which was sent by the awesome navigator, is that the founder of that team is a Kittian, born in Newton Ground. Robert L. Douglas, it doesn't say Governor, yes, who was from Newton Ground, St. Kitts, and very instrumental and the founding father of the basketball team. So once again, bigging up SKN. He's playing on air. And she was saying, yes. Well, thanks for the collaboration. You understand? I need you guys to play for Black History Month. That clip by Miss, the lady there. Play it, because she's saying that her father's from St. Kitts. She's 95 years old. And her father told her that Marcus Garvey was actually born in St. Kitts Corporation. On that note, we break for the Win FM's Midday Newscast.
You found the sound. 98.9. Win FM.
We now bring you the headline news. The headline news is brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
With over a century of perfection behind the Mackeson name, a smooth blend with perfect balance and richness, it's no wonder Mackeson Triple Stout has a legacy of perfection. Enjoyed the world over. Introducing our new look with the same great taste. Mackeson. All hail the king.
Please drink responsibly.
Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com. When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured.
With the WINNFM Midday News, I am Kevon Brown.
And I am Yulana Weeks.
Our top stories.
CDMA's Elizabeth Riley emphasizes resilience and preparedness and wishes safe passage through the hurricane season.
St. Kitts Nevis Prime Minister says PLP leader untrustworthy concerning response to accusations in MSR Media RICO case.
Now the details.
Elizabeth Riley, Executive Director at the Caribbean Development Emergency Management Agency, CDEMA, delivered a comprehensive report at the media briefing and soft launch of the Comprehensive Disaster Conference held in St. Kitts on May 4. Riley expressed that CDEMA is prioritizing resilience, considering the region's very complex and dynamic hazard environment.
So on this road to resilience, CDEMA works with its 19 participating states, of which, of course, St. Kitts and Nevis is one, and also with our partners to advance what we call our comprehensive disaster management strategy, which contributes to a resilience pathway, which was agreed by the heads of government in CARICOM in 2018 following the devastating 2017 hurricane season.
Riley identified the 5 resilience pillars which are of paramount importance to CDEMA and its member states. They include social protection for the marginal and most vulnerable in our populations, safeguarding infrastructure, enhancing economic opportunities for our people, environmental protection, and operational readiness and recovery. The CDEMA Executive Director highlighted specific programs that the organization have or intends to implement to achieve the objectives of its Strategic Plan 2022 to 2027, one of which is institutional strengthening.
So we work with our participating states to update and reform their legislation as well as policy frameworks on disaster risk management, including looking at matters of legislation pertaining to international humanitarian assistance.
According to Riley, a program will be launched soon which will provide training in the building of houses, and St. Kitts and Nevis is one of the 7 participating states which are listed to benefit from the training.
We also support our states in looking at resilience building in the housing sector, and this is important given the threats that are posed by the hurricane season. And in fact, we have an ongoing program which is going to provide training for building houses which can withstand Category 5 hurricane winds, as well as earthquakes up to 7 on the Richter scale. And We are going to be launching this training very soon, and St. Kitts and Nevis is one of the 7 participating states which will benefit from this training as well. So the training is going to be based on a new regional standard for the construction of residential homes, which SEDIMA has partnered with the CARICOM Organization for Standards and Quality on, this is CrossQ, to develop, and also on an accompanying and revised CARICOM vocational qualification, which looks at construction site supervision, and it's been developed in partnership with CANTA, that's the Caribbean Association for National Training Authorities. So you can very much look forward to that taking place here.
The already existing Safe Schools Initiative is another SEDIMA program of which the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis is a beneficiary.
I also want to mention our Safe Schools program. We work at a sectoral level with resilience building, and St. Kitts and Nevis has been a beneficiary under that program since 2017. And at this time, we are working on undertaking supportive actions in 5 schools here in St. Kitts and Nevis, with the support of the government of Norway to the amount of $140,000 US. So I'm sure we'll have an opportunity, Honorable Prime Minister, to do a formal launch once that work is completed.
Ms. Riley expressed her confidence in SEDIMA's Community Resilience Program, describing it as strong. She said the organization's push for proactive measures, such as planning for recovery ahead of events, is very important, and SEDIMA has begun working with member states to ensure that they adopt the practice of pre-planning at a national level. SEDIMA's executive director reminded stakeholders of the preliminary forecast for the 2024 Atlantic hurricane season, which international weather monitoring institutions have predicted would be hyperactive. Scientists have forecast 23 named storms, 11 to become hurricanes, and 5 forecasts to develop into major hurricanes, which are at Category 3, 4, or 5 on the Saffir-Simpson scale. Riley advised all 19 participating states and the SEDIMA coordinating unit to be well prepared not only for tropical cyclones, but also for severe weather, as it's been advised by meteorologists that equal attention should be given to secondary hazards that have the potential to trigger flooding, storm surge, and landslides. Riley wished the region safe passage through the hurricane season, expressing that should there be any occurrences where the capacities at the national levels are exceeded, SEDIMA is prepared and ready to assist.
MSR Media announced the filing of a RICO, racketeer, influenced, and corrupt organizations suit in a U.S. federal court against several CBI stakeholders, former and current St. Kitts and Nevis cabinet ministers, including the Right Honorable Dr. Denzel Douglas, Minister of Foreign Affairs, et al., Yin Jin of Caribbean Galaxy, Les Khan, the former head of St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Unit, CIU, and others. The suit purports MSR Media's concerns regarding alleged misconduct within Galaxy, the previous government of St. Kitts and Nevis, and the current Citizenship by Investment Unit in St. Lucia, suggesting Caribbean Galaxy received kickbacks from a due diligence provider associated with the controversial prison project. MSR Media alleges that Chinese nationals involved in money laundering obtained citizenship in St. Kitts through the prison project utilizing false identities, etc. Former Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Timothy Harris, another party named in the lawsuit at a recent People's Labour Party press conference, said that he was unaware of any underselling as alleged in the RICO suit. During the May 31st, 2024 edition of the Round Table with the Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, in response suggested that Dr. Harris is untrustworthy.
I would say, just frankly, Dr. Harris is untrustworthy. When the question, I'll answer your question, but I want to set the premise. When the question was asked about the number of citizenships in the last administration, talks of this is an industry secret was given as answers to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. He himself said the money, we are not using the resources of St. Kitts and Nevis to build the prison. The citizenship of St. Kitts and Nevis is a patrimony of St. Kitts and Nevis. Irresponsible, out of order, cannot be trusted. I will tell you further that his family members had a company well embedded in the CBI program, making millions. This is how close they were, and they were part and parcel of it. And so he cannot be trusted on this matter.
Dr. Drew emphasized the significance of him not being named in the suit.
And so with respect to the lawsuit, I got it yesterday, and I immediately gave it to the AG about the judicial review. I am not sued in any US or American court. It is my position as the Minister of National Security. That is where I come in. I have not received any money from anybody. They can search from up and down, left and right, which has been done. My integrity on this matter is critically important. I have to protect the country and my integrity. Can you imagine if I was naming this? Just imagine if I was naming this. I think part of the saving grace of all of this is that I am not named. No evidence on me. No questions about me. I take this very seriously because I already see how this is hurting St. Kitts and Nevis. I already see the questions being asked of people asking what kind of country is that. I want to tell them that this is a country of integrity. There are bad actors, yes, but this is a country of integrity and good standing. Just imagine if I was naming this in a U.S. court, okay? And therefore, I want to say clearly that this is a matter that is a very, very serious matter.
While the Prime Minister did not go into detail on the plan of action by the government concerning the judicial review case that was filed in the High Court in St. Kitts, he did state that the matter is in the hands of the Attorney General.
The AG now is making sure that all of the lawyers who we are to have are there. But again, it is a judicial review to say those who were granted the citizenship. But we are not just looking at any galaxy matter. If you look at what we did with our regulation, is to make sure that what we have done is to strengthen the program outside of any one agreement or project, is to strengthen the program.
Prime Minister the Honourable Dr. Terence Drew. On June 3, 2024, the Right Honourable Dr. Denzil Douglas stated in response to the allegations that he categorically denied the accusations, which included personal and professional misconduct. Quote, "The civil claim filed against me makes very serious allegations in my personal capacity as well as my capacity as Minister of Foreign Affairs in the federal government of St. Kitts and Nevis. I categorically deny the allegations that have been leveled against me, all of which are ridiculously false accusations made by the plaintiffs in the claim. The document is riddled with hearsay. These allegations are baseless, malicious, and are deliberate attacks intended to destroy my reputation, character, and legacy." End quote. Dr. Douglas said there was nothing in the allegations which warranted any further response or immediate attention, and was sure his name would be cleared, further saying that he was confident that the sinister allegations would prove untrue in a court of law. Caribbean Galaxy also issued a statement on the lawsuit from the plaintiffs MSR Media SKN Limited, MSR Hotel and Company Limited, MSR Media International, LLC, MSR Entities, and Philippe Martinez. The development firm in the statement laid out its history of work in the Caribbean, which includes the Ramada Hotel in St. Kitts, hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue to the government of St. Kitts and Nevis through the prison project, Dreams Resort in St. Lucia, and other expected initiatives in the two countries. In response to the allegations laid before them, Caribbean Galaxy said it is, quote, "appalled by the false accusations of Philippe Martinez," end quote, suggesting that the company has engaged in corrupt practices with politicians in St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Lucia. Quote, "We want to make it categorically clear that Caribbean Galaxy has no relationship or business dealings with Philippe Martinez. Our business dealings in the countries where we are approved as a developer have been in full accordance with the laws of those countries, and we take serious offense to the accusations made by Mr. Martinez, which seek to destroy the reputation and goodwill of our company. Since conducting business as a developer in the Caribbean, our company has not just acted as agents for citizenship programs, but has taken a keen interest in the social and economic development of local communities," end quote. In closing, the developer pledged to fight against the allegations and recommitted their stake in helping to transform St. Lucia.
In regional news,
the Grenada government is promoting new legislation that will make education there compulsory until the age of 18. Under current statuses, students are only legally bound to be in school until the age of 16. Speaking on the move in Parliament Tuesday, Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell said the old statute is not consistent with other social and legal requirements.
The critical mischief that this amendment seeks to address is ensuring that we don't continue to encourage our young men and women to think One, that education needs to stop at high school. Two, that we don't continue disadvantaging them by putting them in no man's land. They're not an adult. They cannot legally work, right? Almost borderline child labor. Not give them the opportunity to continue their education. And I'm saying compulsory so. Because at 18, you're not an adult. And there's no point in putting you out into a system where you are not equipped already for the world of work and the challenges that will come with that. You can't vote.
Another layer of protection is being sought for farmers in the region as heads of government in the OECS endeavor to formalize a crop insurance policy for the vulnerable sector.
We're now going to have a crop. We're going to implement a crop insurance for banana farmers. Something that we long spoke about, a crop insurance. And I've put $600,000 in the budget for that to start moving the crop insurance. So hopefully, because in all these insurances, what is that? That's a negotiation between other CARICOM countries, other OECS countries. A crop, because the business of agriculture insurance is very expensive.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre notes that while crop insurance is not yet secured, the intention has been set in motion to ensure farmers can be protected from the vagaries of climate change, pests and bug invasions, and other unforeseen circumstances.
We are going to introduce crop insurance, and the government has made a contribution of $600,000 premium towards that. Further, we are going to see if we can get young people involved directly in agriculture through the youth economy. And there's been an investment of $800,000 in what we call agricultural technology for young people. That came out of a visit by the Minister of Agriculture to Guyana, where Guyana's is doing a lot of work in agricultural diversification, in getting young people involved in agriculture.
Agriculture stakeholders have been attempting to revolutionize the sector with the addition of technology to attract new and young farmers. Pierre says the $800,000 injection looks to attract them. The impetus to go after regional crop insurance is due to the high costs associated with the protection.
One country may not be able to meet the premium. This is why we went with an OECS, so we can have it together.
One of 3 focus areas for OECS nations is climate-resilient agriculture, with leaders proposing solutions for long-standing and complex challenges facing the agricultural sector. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre champions the proposed crop insurance as a vital safety net for farmers, facilitating the swift recovery from setbacks.
We now bring you these international reports.
Bern's International Court for War Criminals come under such severe threats. Created to put an end to impunity for the worst of crimes, the ICC has stepped up its security system after infiltrations, cyber attacks and threats from national spy agencies trying to interfere with its investigations. Recent publications show that Israeli intelligence agencies have threatened, smeared and intimidated prosecutors and lawyers investigating suspected war crimes committed by Israel in Gaza and the occupied West Bank. Dutch politicians have also demanded an inquiry into the possible involvement of Israeli diplomats.
The Netherlands, as a host country of the ICC and many other international institutions, has a special responsibility to make sure that these institutions can function independently and must be very tough when it comes to this type of intimidation practices.
The ICC Palestine investigation recently led to requests for arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, his defense minister and 3 leaders of Hamas. Palestinian organizations who have been crucial in compiling evidence for this case have also faced serious threats.
One of that is like a mafia ways, death threats. One of that is the calls. One of that is to put, funeral roses behind the door of our colleague in the Netherlands. She was our focal person to the ICC. If she doesn't want to stop her work, she will be disappeared.
The former employee does not want to be filmed. While she continued her work compiling evidence of Israeli war crimes for this court, she says the threats against her became increasingly serious and sophisticated. Changing her phone numbers didn't help because those who were threatening her immediately knew her new numbers. Sponsors of Al-Haq were receiving smear messages, and emails of Amnesty International, who were trying to help her, were hacked. Meanwhile, she and her relatives continued to receive threats, even abroad. After 3 years of investigating, the authorities closed her case, saying they could not find the suspect. Her former boss is convinced who was behind the threats.
I'm sure that they were in contact also with the Israelis, with the Israeli Mossad or with the Israeli officials.
The threats did not stop Al-Haq nor the ICC from continuing the investigation. In reply to questions from Al Jazeera, the office of the prosecutor of the ICC says attempts by intelligence agencies to get hold of core evidence have failed and their system remains secure. Step Fasten, Al Jazeera, The Hague.
The US, where the criminal trial of President Biden's son Hunter in the state of Delaware has heard opening statements from both sides. Hunter Biden, who's 53, has pleaded not guilty to 3 charges relating to his purchase of a revolver at a gun store in October 2018. Most of the evidence on day one came from Hunter Biden himself. The prosecution played excerpts from the audio version of his memoir. In one part, he described his superpower of being able to buy crack in any town, anywhere. Well, our correspondent Tom Bateman was in court in Wilmington.
Well, the first opening statement was from federal prosecutor Derek Hines, and he set out to portray Hunter Biden as a self-confessed habitual crack cocaine addict who lied in order to purchase a handgun here in Wilmington, Delaware in 2018. And what the prosecution alleges is that Hunter Biden knowingly misled when he declared that he wasn't a drug abuser, when the prosecution says he clearly knew at the time that he was. And Mr. Hines stood before the jury and at the very start of his statement made a clear reference to the fact that the person they had to hear these allegations about was the son of the US president. Mr. Hines saying that no one is above the law, it doesn't matter who you are or what your name is. Now, behind Hunter Biden for the second day, key members of the Biden family in the public benches, among them his stepmother, the First Lady Jill Biden, who was very close to Hunter in terms of sitting about a meter behind him, and the family talking to each other at various points during the proceedings. Next up was Mr. Biden's lawyer for the defense, Abby Lowell, who set out to say that this case was all about the detail of what that form actually said. And the defense's argument is that Mr. Biden at the time did not regard himself as a user of drugs and addicted to illegal drugs, because they said he'd been in a rehab clinic in California before that period. And so when he ticked the box to say he wasn't a drug user, that was meant honestly. And they're asking for the jury, in that sense, to throw out all of these charges. After that, we'll be getting into the first witnesses in the case. The first among those, a special agent for the FBI who was put onto the Hunter Biden investigation last year, and further witnesses due to be called over the course of the next 2 weeks, the length that this trial is expected to proceed. As for Hunter Biden, he denies all 3 felony counts against him.
Tom Bateman reporting.
Well, Russia's biggest annual economic forum gets underway in St. Petersburg today. Among those invited are the Taliban, which currently rule Afghanistan. Last week, President Vladimir Putin said the Islamic militant group should be removed from Russia's list of banned terrorist groups and he backed proposals to formally recognize the Taliban as Afghanistan's legitimate government. No Western nation recognizes the Taliban government. Moscow has been trying to strengthen regional ties after being shunned by the West for its invasion of Ukraine. DW's Russia analyst Konstantin Eggert is here. Why is Russia changing this relationship?
Well, first a note of personal observation. I've been to that forum in St. Petersburg many times in my life, and I've seen Western presidents, heads of governments, presidents of CEOs of major multinationals now. Now it's the Taliban. So to me, it's quite a demise, I have to say, of a once respected institution. But I think that it's very clear what Putin is trying to achieve. He's focused on basically fighting the West. And whoever is the enemy of the West is his friend. And in this respect, basically helping to lift the Taliban from their isolation, well, that's quite a logical move in his universe, in Putin's universe. And I'm sure that it will proceed, because what Putin recommends, the foreign ministry and the rest of the ministries are usually sort of following up very quickly.
What sort of conditions are going to be attached to this, though?
I don't think there are any conditions. I don't think that the Taliban can basically negotiate any conditions. They'll be very happy to have someone recognize them. Although, of course, there's a lot of bad blood between Moscow and Kabul, Russians and Afghans, you name it. But I think that for Putin, there is some interest. If you look at the context of the hybrid war that he's waging against the West, well, Afghan narcotics trade is something that may well be in the focus of the Kremlin, because if he engages with the Taliban, then he knows more about what goes on there, and even he can influence that. And, drug wars may well become parts of his hybrid assault on the West.
Something that could be lucrative?
Well, I'm sure. Look, in such circumstances, someone will cream off quite a few bucks.
Yeah.
But the main thing is to present a situation in which he may say to Western leaders, well, we are in contact with the Taliban. We know what goes on there. We know everything about the drugs trade. We can impact that, so talk to me. His idea is always getting something on board that can be traded. And in this respect, the Taliban is, to my mind, a pretty logical step.
But what about that bad blood you mentioned in the war in the 80s?
Oh, I think there is a fascination in Moscow with all things Afghan. And that, of course, is the legacy of the Soviet Union's war there, in which more than 1 million Afghans died and quite a few Soviets at the time. I also think that there is this idea that having an impact, having an influence in Afghanistan makes you a player in Asia. And that is something that Putin is, I'm sure, very keen to exploit.
So where do you see this going?
I'm certain that the ban on the Taliban, which are currently considered to be a terrorist organization, even if you mention them in the media, you have to say registered as a terrorist organization in Russia, is going to be removed. And I'm certain that at a certain point in time, they're going to really reopen diplomatic relations in Kabul.
Konstantin Egger, thank you very much for coming along today.
Thank you.
You were listening to the Midday News on WINNFM 98.9. The headlines?
SEDIMA's Elizabeth Riley emphasizes resilience and preparedness and wishes safe passage through the hurricane season.
St. Kitts Nevis Prime Minister says PLP leader untrustworthy concerning response to accusations in Emissar Media RICO case.
Thank you for listening.
That was the WINNFM Headline News. The Headline News was brought to you by Caribbean Alliance, The Grange, and Carib Brewery.
When it comes to the important things in life, your health, your education, your choice of a life partner, and of course your insurance provider, only the best will do. Caribbean Alliance Insurance is the only insurance company in the Eastern Caribbean with an A excellent rating. We have a robust 3-tier reinsurance strategy that protects our policyholders from multiple catastrophes, even if they occur in quick succession. We spread our risks over 18 territories, ensuring minimal impact to individual territories when a disaster strikes. We provide an excellent claims experience. Claim settlement is usually between 24 to 48 hours. Our A excellent rating means that you are more secure with us. Contact us for motor, property, marine, public liability, employer's liability, and other policies. Delisle Walwyn, people you can trust. Local agent for Caribbean Alliance Insurance. Tomorrow secured. Did you know that the Grange Healthcare Facility is the first purpose-built, non-governmental healthcare organization on St. Kitts? It's situated at Otley's, 7 miles east of Basseterre in beautifully landscaped surroundings. The Grange has a team of highly trained professionals and provides care that's rated as being comparable with UK and North American standards. The Grange offers varied accommodations to suit your individual needs, and our all-inclusive packages make the cost of care per hour the most competitive on the island. Services include convalescent care for all ages, daycare facilities for older adults, rehabilitation services, and training and continuing education for healthcare providers. For more information, call 466-5525 or 465-8020. Fax 466-8221 or email thegrangehealth@gmail.com or visit our website at www.grangehealthcarefacility.com.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Guess what? It's been TikTok, and we're back and about to launch into the second half of today's presentation of Voices. We had a very interesting bit of interaction this morning, triggered by a clip we played by Yvonne, the 95-year-old lady who was on a cruise last week, passing through here in St. Kitts, and she dropped me some information, which I recorded. Pardon? Yes, we need to play it again. All right, but here's what we're going to pause now for a few kind words from our sponsors. Then we'll continue the conversation by starting that clip again, just to make it, for those who probably didn't hear it in the first half. Okay? Thank you.
Hey, it's your boy S.A. Here's your Value Mart Idea Specials, running May 30th to June 12th. Now, our Value Club Blue Tag Specials. General Mills cereals, $14.99. Purex liquid detergent, $15.99. Almond Breeze milk, $9.99. Starkey's tuna water and oil, $3.99. Wishbone salad dressing, $11.99. Stonewich ice cream bars, $19.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals. Ideal Essential Everyday Peanut Butter, the $8.99. Essential Everyday Oats, quick and old fashioned, $15.99. Ideal Essential Everyday Salt, plain and iodized, $4.89. Purify shampoo and conditioner, $5.49. Arm & Hammer deodorant, $8.99. Ideal Essential Everyday Mac and Cheese, $2.99. Shop smart, shop Value Mart.
Okay, we're back with the program, and I'm told we have a call. Before we do that, let me say hello to Amber Lewis, which is down there in Anguilla. Hope you're having a nice day. And caller, you are now live. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Hey, good afternoon.
Hello, how are you doing?
Man, I hear giving God thanks.
Well, I ain't expecting to do nothing. That's the first thing we do in the morning.
Well, some of us find everything to complain about, even woman.
Even woman?
Hate woman.
Sister Henry, we're always happy to have you.
But I think you need a woman.
Who's that?
My good brother in the Lord.
Suppose
There's a
he's...
difference between... Wait.
Maybe he's celibate by choice.
Greg was married, you know.
He was?
Yeah, ask him.
Do you know that?
Yeah, he's a nice person.
Okay.
Maybe that's why. Eh? Yeah, he was married.
I didn't know that.
Well, it ain't a secret.
No, I didn't know. I don't know a lot of stuff.
Business, you understand?
Okay.
I was married too.
Mm-hmm.
Married the husband, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
So now, for Greg, there's a difference between a woman ruling and a woman assisting, you know. If you go back to the Bible, he said, you help meet. Now, if two of you in a relationship and one has more skills or whatever than the other one, you expect the stronger one
to take
or
lead.
the more equipped one to take the lead in some situation.
Correct.
So you're going to sit down there and watch your husband suffer and the man suffer and you have an idea? We have situations now where women may earn more. So what she must do, sit down and let the poor man struggle to death? He got to be rational and he needs to go back and read that Bible, you know. You know, as a good libertarian, he looked for things that matches his ideals. There was a thing called Hilda. Hulda was a prophet. A prophetess, a woman. If God called her, God make a mistake.
She was called by God.
Called by God. She used to give the message. The Lord said, do so and so and so and so. It's India, you know. Then you had the one jail who had killed the enemy by nailing a thing to temple. So that's a woman. She saved the nation when the men were afraid to go up and fight. So, how do you deal with that, Greg? In more than one occasion, you go down to Proverbs 31 and tell about the woman. Eh? The woman gives praise to her husband when he sits down among other men. And he's interpreting the one about the tax and so. Let Greg tell you. Paul was a Roman, and living at that time, he was under the Roman rulership. The Jews who the Bible referred to did not accept it. So I don't see how God could have condoned what. It is every leader you have to obey, you know. Because giving the leaders, I think, not them kind here. Because if God himself doesn't make sure he remove them, God wrong then.
Well,
God wrong then.
The Bible is replete of examples of the various processes, because there are certain philosophies that we nail ourselves to, and others that are more flexible.
You need to know the history and the culture in the Bible. He's talking about, the agrarian. He was more agrarian. Right? Agriculture. People grow what they eat and that.
I got you.
Poor was poor. Sometimes what happens to the poor when those with the thing get on top? I mean, even Solomon, he taxed the people up to death. And when he died, the son, they said, people say, look, hello, your father overtaxed us, you know. Were they wrong to complain? And because of that, he split the nation in two. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So this thing about, because the question is, he pushing this theory that free enterprise, I believe in free enterprise too, but the question is what happened to the poor? The history is there, you know. The entrepreneurs are the investors in most cases, and in the historical thing. The poor man was no better than a slave. He was no better. They had the feudal system, even the indentured service. Even when they brought the Indians here, they were no better off than slaves.
Oh, yes, they were.
While
yes, they were.
plantation owners got richer and richer, and the people remain poor. Even up to 2005, I say it again, nobody, no poor man who worked in the sugar industry came out as a millionaire. You barely survive. I recall my mother telling me sometimes, you look at my mother and my father work on Buckley's estate. Sometimes they'll have every new year, before the crops start, they'll have negotiation, right, between the union and the plant.
I recall those days.
Sometimes they get a halfpenny, half a halfpenny.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? While the cost of goods gone up. So the planters were allowed, to do as they like and whatever.
It was one of the things that triggered the Buckley's uprising, that they call the Buckley's riot.
Well, it's quite that and not all that, because the truth is, a lot of them had been to the USA and different places who had seen on a little higher level. So when they came back, because remember Cuba sent home people, there was nothing to do in New York and so some of them came back home. And when they came back home, they discovered that saying it was no better off than when they left. That is why they were willing to stand up and say, look, we're not going to take it no more. But sometimes we don't build the deep, big depression into our analysis. They had been, even Nathan and they had been abroad. You know that?
No. I didn't know that aspect of it.
Yeah, they had been abroad. And they'd seen life, even the life was hard in Santo Domingo. They were still living above when they came home.
Okay.
All right. So, Mr.
Sorry about that. That was not intentional. You have any caller? Okay, sorry about that, Sister Annie. You got a chance, you're going to give us a call back. But in the interim, I would like to get okay, let's take this call. Go there, caller. You're live on Voices.
Hi, the King. I'm back.
Yes, how are you?
You are about to play. You are about to play back the clip, right?
Yes. Do you have it queued up, Jamso?
I don't want to delay the clip. I just want to say that maybe this 95-year-old lady should not be even able to speak. If all women should be quiet, and such an important piece of history, information, should not be told if it's not by a man. I beg to differ.
Okay.
Not only that, Greg would know that it's in the Bible, where it's saying Acts chapter 28, Acts 8, 26 to 40, where this Ethiopian eunuch went to make his pilgrimage to Jerusalem. And while going back, he was reading a passage of scripture. Well, who he was sent by? He was sent by the Queen Candace. And what about the Saranina queens? The Saranina queens is what we saw from the movie Black Panther, which was a queen, but they acted in Chadwick Boseman as the Black Panther king.
Okay.
Initially, that story came from the queen, the lines of the queens. What about the Queen of Sheba, who visited Solomon, or she was known as the Queen of the South? The Queen of Sheba and Aksum in Ethiopia.
Okay, we got your point. It's not everything that you have to react to, but I got your point. Right?
Yeah, but I'm saying that he's talking about recent, when the male chauvinist took over and negated the women to the backside. We're not going to allow that to happen.
Okay. Jamster.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you very much. Let's have the clip again, please. Thank you very much. All right. I also want to address something that happened to me today on the way over to the station, between a short walk from the circus to here. When I came in, you know that my shirt was like soaking wet. There's a heat wave downtown Bastia. We've had lots of commentary about it, not only St. Kitts, but across the region. And I recall this time last year, people speaking about how hot it is. The year before, how hot it was is getting hotter and hotter with every circle. We are on the 5th day of June. 5 days past the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season. We're in June, and of course, globally, the weather patterns have changed. There was a time there was a predictable rainy season and the dry season. Now it's all changed. And it's all pegged to what some people don't believe as global warming. But let's go back to Yvonne Lambie and hear what she has to say about information about where Marcus Garvey was born.
Hello, my name is Yvonne Lambie. I was born and brought up in New York City, but my father was born in St. Kitts. I am 95 years of age, born June 14, 1929, and my father was born 1887, and he told me the story about Marcus Garvey. My father was very helpful with Marcus Garvey in New York City, trying to purchase the ship to take us back to our native Africa.
And tell them where Marcus Garvey came from. Your father
And my
told
father told me that he heard that Marcus Garvey was not born in Jamaica, that he was originally from St. Kitts, but relocated to Jamaica before arriving in New York City.
That's perfect. Are you recalling your father's name?
My father's name was John Grimes, Grimes.
from St. Kitts.
In St. Kitts. He left this island, I think it was about 1899, to arrive in New York City.
This is valid information and corroboration with those who are advocating that Marcus Garvey was actually born in St. Kitts.
Yes.
Here we are, with 95 years old, and recounting the story that your father told you about the connections of Marcus Garvey being born in St. Kitts. So this is invaluable information.
Yes.
I'm going to share my information with your daughter, my contacts.
Yes.
So we can perhaps continue the dialogue.
Okay.
So I would love to hear more about you, growing up in New York.
Yes.
Right?
I was a New York school teacher for 52
Educator?
years. Yes, 52 years.
The last educator I interviewed is now 102 years old.
Oh, wow.
Miss Riven in Sandy Point. There was another one, she was 93 years old at the time of the interview. And you have so much to share with the world.
That's
So
right.
here you are now educating us once again.
Exactly.
I do appreciate that.
And
Okay.
love the beautiful, pleasant smile.
You talking about yours? Yeah, I agree. And I apologize to some extent for the poor quality of the audio. It was done in an open space, just impromptu. I gave her my phone, so I was not as close to the microphone as I could have been. So I was just prompting her. And the other voice you may have heard, that would be of her daughter. She was traveling with her daughter. What the daughter was saying, and tell him what your father said about Marcus Garvey, where he was born. So if you missed that, that's just me there. And I was saying to her, I did say to her that because she let us know she's an educator. She taught as an educator for some 51 years in New York. And I said to her, the last person I interviewed as an educator, she is now 102 years old, we call her teacher Anne Vivan in Sandy Point, and the other one was 93. So let's take it to the phone lines once again. Go to caller, you're live on Voices.
Hi, Socrates. I'm tuned in and listened to the tape you played just now.
Yes.
The audio.
Mm-hmm.
I have heard that a few times, right? I think Bishop Banky tends to post about that on Facebook. People have been talking about this.
Mm-hmm.
But as I listened to, is it a male or female who was talking, a female teacher?
2 females,
95 years
yes.
old?
Yeah, 95 years
But
old.
she also said that her father heard. So there's, we cannot really say definitively that he knew him, but he knew that he was actually born in St. Kitts. Because he didn't say he knows for sure that his father actually knows for sure that Marcus Garvey was born in St. Kitts. We haven't. When I visited the Marcus Garvey Museum last year, I looked closely at his history to see if I saw anything that indicated that he might have been born in St. Kitts. And I saw nothing in the museum. So I think if that, since that is coming up, then, you know, historians have a work cut out for them in finding that out. Whether that is true, whether, you know, I'm understanding, okay, if his mother was from St. Kitts, or his mother and father were from St. Kitts, but none of that, I saw none of that put out there at the museum. I need to go back through my pictures because I think I had actually taken pictures, although, you know, I snuck some pictures because I wanted to see what they were saying. So, you know, you're telling the caller that is valuable information, but you cannot say whether it's
I said invaluable. I'll tell you why. That was played against the backdrop of me having an interview with Mr. Derek Hazel from Sandy Point, who said to me that on a given day, there was a program on the radio where Marcus Garvey's voice was being heard. And his mother said to him, that is your family. And let him know, yes, let him know where he was born in Sandy Point. And he showed me documents. I'm not saying it's authentic, but purportedly baptismal papers of Marcus Garvey being born in St. Anne's, Sandy Point, St. Kitts, and other documents on family members' name, blah, 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 blah. So against that, because I brought that topic here before, and even Rascalonde says he had heard it before, but discounted it, right? So the coincidence of this lady, because even before what was recorded, right? She said her father told her. On the recording, when her daughter prompted her, she says, yes, my father said he heard her. But she's talking about her father working with Marcus Garvey, trying to raise funds to buy the ship to take him back to the native Africa. So there is that close relationship going way back. Not something she just heard when she was aged. Huh?
Is it possible that there may have been two people with the same name coming from, well, that there was Marcus Garvey born in Jamaica and the Marcus Garvey was born in St. Kitts?
No. I won't accept that. I won't accept that. I'll tell you what, I was trying to find the documents. I was trying to find the documents that Mr. Hazel gave me to bring to further the discussion. Mr. Patifuri in Sandy Point said he would have heard seen some documents, but there's no interest in trying to corroborate it. That is why I said to her, what you're sharing with me is invaluable, because I didn't know 5 minutes before. She don't know what I do, that I had discussed with the topic before. So to me, this was corroboration to a very large extent about that piece of information, that bit of history, that it could be factual, because your movement of people was so prevalent at that time throughout the region. What she says, and you would have heard it.
It's possible that they got into Jamaica and there's no record of them getting into Jamaica. And so Jamaicans only know that he was born in Jamaica.
Correct.
Have you read up on the history of Marcus Garvey to see where his parents are from?
No, but the names.
So that's probably the first thing you need to do, is to research what the museum is saying, what history is telling us, and see how it fits in with this new
What I have
Mm-hmm.
is the history, the document given to me by Mr. Hazel about his mother, the name, where she was born, and the other siblings and the names they had. But I don't have it with
Yes,
me.
but I'm saying you need to know matches what you have with what the story that is put out there about Marcus Garvey. Like who, because if a simple Google search will tell you his parents' names and all of that, and you can see if those names match up.
They correlate, Carla.
That's all I'm saying.
The names correlate.
The names correlate.
I'm gonna get a copy of the document. I was trying to find it. I was trying to find it to bring it to the program on Friday, but I couldn't. I called him, and he went to voicemail. But I can get a copy of the document, and you can further the research.
Okay.
But the names, the dates, and all that, it correlates.
So the name that you
Of his
find
mother.
online, that's the Marcus
And the other
Garvey's
siblings,
mother,
yes, it correlates.
That's on that birth paper. the father's name is the same name that's on that birth paper, right? So that's needs to be a reinvestigation of Marcus Garvey's lineage.
And sometimes a counter who's presenting information, they actually just discount it. Or hear what he's talking about. That is why that conversation with that lady piqued my interest.
Yeah.
Because it came out of nowhere. And it's a wonderful piece of history to know. I mean, if you want to do research, her father's name was it John Grimes? She mentioned his name, Grimes, when he was born, when he left St. Kitts. And he worked along with Marcus Garvey trying to raise funds to buy the boat. I mean, that is really epic information. So maybe you can look up John Grimes and see if the time frame correlates, etc. It makes for a very interesting conversation.
It does. It does.
There were people born, like I was born in 1955, right? And my birth record was not registered until about 11 years after.
Wow.
In the same answer, I checked it out. That's when it was registered.
So you're 10 years younger than you are?
Precisely.
Here's an interesting angle to consider. Carlo.
Okay.
Jamster's putting a point. Let's hear Jamster.
An interesting angle and something to investigate and maybe research. Dwyer might be able to help with this. I know that he came here in the 1930s and he spoke
1937.
Yeah, the MIS.
Of November 1937.
I wonder if anyone can recall, probably they're mostly dead, but if anyone can recall if he ever mentioned that.
Well,
the
Miss Carleen Morton's uncle, Patsy Mack, she recounts that he showed a document of him speaking to her father, Mr. McIntosh, inside the point, thanking him for his hospitality. And there are those who feed into that. Maybe it was his school, a childhood friend, etc. But he went to Sandy Point and he thanked Mr. Mack. Some say Mr. Mack was also living in New York at some point. That's where they met. But he was thanking him here in St. Kitts for his hospitality.
While I'm here, I do have an invitation from the UNIA to have a Marcus Garvey Day here in St. Kitts. The president of the UNIA, Steve Golden, I met him when I was in Switzerland, and he's trying to set up that wherever Marcus Garvey went, that he would have a day that we set aside a period and have activities surrounding the anniversary of Marcus Garvey's coming to St. Kitts. Or to whichever island. So I guess he wants his push is to do that in every island, the Marcus Garvey Symposium. So,
But have a chat with Miss Carleen Morton. Have a chat with her. Because her uncle, according to her, would have shown a document of the interaction between Marcus Garvey and her father.
Okay.
Right? Her grandfather, actually. Her grandfather, sorry.
Yeah, we're going to work on.
Follow up on that.
Coming here. All right. So
Please.
Send me the information. Let me see what I can find out.
I'll get you the number of Mr. Hazel, and you can speak with him directly. I try to get him to go. He's a kind of shy, yeah, but he have all kind of documents.
I want to see the document that you have.
Not a problem. I'll get him for you.
Thank you.
And thanks for your interest, Sean. Okay. Beautiful. What time we have now? Time for a station break? Are we good? Let's pause for a little tribute to our sponsors.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask? Essential Everyday and Equiline. Spend less on our Essential Everyday products and get the best quality, the best taste, and the best value. Spend less for all your family health and beauty needs with the Equiline brand of over-the-counter products. Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less. With our Essential Everyday products and Equiline over-the-counter health and beauty care products. Shop smart and spend less at Value Mart, where price matters most.
your Value Mart Idea Specials, running May 30th to June 12th. Now, our Value Club Blue Tag Specials. General Mills cereals, $14.99. Purex liquid detergent, $15.99. Almond Breeze milk, $9.99. Starkist tuna water and oil, $3.99. Wishbone salad dressing, $11.99. Stonewich ice cream bars, $19.99. And now, our very low weekly value deals. IGN Essential Everyday Peanut Butter, the $8.99. Essential Everyday Oats, quick and old fashioned, $15.99. IGN Essential Everyday Salt, plain and iodized, $4.89. Biofy Shampoo and Conditioner, $5.49. Arm & Hammer Deodorant, $8.99. IGN Essential Everyday Mac and Cheese, $2.99. Shop smart, shop Value Mart.
What's going on? The earphones had me all entangled. So it was called kind of flat-footed. Yes. Good day. You're live on Voices.
Good day. How are you? How are you?
I am having the most wonderful day. What about yourself?
I too.
How is the weather treating you?
Staying indoors. Keep out the sun.
You staying out the sun? So you have your AC on?
Oh no, I don't like them things that don't have on my fan. My fan is enough breeze for me.
Okay, talk to me. Talk to me. What's up? What's going on with you?
Yeah, this Marcus Garvey story, I was made to understand. You know, a little estate down there, boys are called Garvey's estate.
Garvey's estate, yes.
Yeah, like it come off of his name. Maybe it was his great-grandfather or something or the other. And Nichols over Taba, and he was family too.
So you're hearing now that Nichols, that's a very prominent name in the Taba area. You're hearing that he was related to Marcus Garvey?
Yeah.
Okay,
Somebody
interesting.
said, no wonder you want him. I went to a place the other day over Molyneux the other day, and this person was saying, yeah, and I noticed he gonna look for you like the man for you. Yeah, so some truth around there, he was born here, but you know, in them days you migrate like with little children, maybe 2 years a year, you know?
At the age of 4. That's what information suggests.
Yeah. Well, I just recently heard, so, you know, that he went from here as a child. He thought he went, he went as a grown person.
No. Age 4.
But that's why he came back here and went to MIS also. I don't know.
1937.
Yeah.
But then again, I was told, and this is second-hand information, that some Jamaicans were here on a tour, and I got it for somebody who actually regard, but I didn't push it. This person said to me they were touring some Jamaicans, and a Jamaican mentioned that he was taught in school that Marcus Garvey was born in St. Kitts. So I thought I was curious. But you see, you're going to find the one-offs from time to time with information that the general public don't know about or would have accepted a certain narrative. I mean, you're hearing this one-offs here and there. You don't really accept it. But I know a taxi operator told me that on a particular tour, the person mentioned to him that they were told while attending school that Marcus Garvey was born in St. Kitts.
That's right.
Now, 99% of Jamaicans will never accept that. Never accept that.
Because he grew up there, so they never know, like sometimes someone grew up.
That
in the
happens. That
village
happens.
And you say, this person and them is family, no.
But it's a conversation that we can have.
Yeah.
You know, for the investigator, that is a conversation that is worthwhile having.
I mean, yeah. Okay, then. I'm listening up there.
Quick question. Have you congratulated first female leader of the People's Action Movement?
I wish you all the best.
Okay.
Some things are going so topsy-turvy. You don't know what
Love you still.
wish her all the best.
Okay, darling, you take care.
Hope she will get through because all what happening now is a headache, and I would have heard this about my country before I die, but
Life goes on. Life goes on, and we count the blessing that we're still here to appreciate whatever changes. You know?
Yeah, but you're going to be sinking the country instead of develop it up, lifting it up.
Every single day is a different day, and a day to appreciate. Whether we have ups and down, hills and valleys, that's life. Nothing is ever the same. And you have to brace yourself for the changes that will come, whether you like them or not. Most importantly, we have the power to change and make things that are not too good, make them better. So we're good to go.
Okay.
Right? Thank you so very much. Yes, the heat wave that I was talking about, we are in the 6th day of the Atlantic hurricane season. We have a call. And I think we need to be mindful when we speak about how hard things are of our elders, especially the shut-ins. I know of a lady who told me she had to go and buy an extra fan because the house that her father lives in is a concrete house. During the day, that blazing sun just bakes at the house and the concrete retains the heat. So during the night, even you're sweltering. So for our elders who are not that mobile, the shut-ins, we need to pay attention, make sure they're hydrated during this particular season. We go back to the phone lines. Go to call you live on Voices.
Yeah, good afternoon, King.
And I'm happy to hear you once again. Talk to me.
Yeah. Brother, this kind of weather here.
Anyway, before you get further, right? Jamster was saying he was really concerned about you because he wasn't hearing you. He wasn't hearing from you at all. So he's happy now that you're up, alive, and kicking. Right?
Yeah, I call him even before the problem was solved. And I let him know the situation in the northeast.
Okay, he's northeast?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me.
Because I've been keeping check on the months,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm happy that it's here again. Now, I want to say something here, brother.
Go ahead.
With this heat wave that is really worldwide, you know what it's called for the Calypso?
Which one?
Ice in your eyes.
Ice in your eyes. Back in the 40s, 50s.
Yes. You're really up to date, man.
Where you got you on your free core, you have your shaved ice, and you sat outside under the trees
All ice.
with your lemonade and stuff like that.
And when you ain't got no lemonade, you got Swanka Bridge.
Swanka beverage, right?
Yeah.
And you fan yourself.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
this is nothing new.
Be careful how you fan yourself.
Well, today you have to plug in something to fan yourself, you know.
Oh, okay. Now, I want to say something here.
Yeah.
I wonder if that partner who against a woman in a leadership position, if he happens to be going away on an airline, on a plane.
I know where you're coming from.
When he got in the plane, he realized the captain has 4 bars on her shoulder and is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the co-pilot also is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And the navigator is a woman. I wonder if he can come back out the plane and say he not going.
I knew where you were coming from. I'm only laughing because it's coming from you. I think he would strap himself in and enjoy the flight.
Yeah, I wonder if that. I wonder if that individual know that the greatest woman in this world is the mother of the supreme being. Let go in the Bible and say that. Let go in the Bible and say that. That
what he's advocating is that the Bible has ascribed certain roles to women that they should not disobey. They should not be leaders in the church or government, etc., etc. You know, so I actually was saying to Natasha Gray, congratulations for being elected first female leader of the party, etc. I think that is why he called to say that we shouldn't really celebrate that because it's not something that's encouraged by the Bible. That's how it came off.
Yeah, I really don't know why. I don't know really why some people so against woman. We cannot do without them. When Adam was there, God could have taken a rib and make another man.
But a lot of texts, a lot of biblical texts, right?
Yeah.
Regulate women to a secondary role in the household and throughout the whole construct of society. They have to dress in a certain manner. They have to be well heard and not seen, stuff like that. Certain role they can play. In the Muslim society, if you look at a funeral, women on one side. They are not allowed to congregate amongst the men. They have to stand at one side.
I could tell you one place where you know that used to happen. When you see woman used to carry man to the court for child support. All the woman them close to the door and all the man over by the park fence.
Only culture can come up with something like that. So when women take men to court for child support, I would call it bastardy. All the women would congregate on one side?
Yeah. Look, I had me do.
You had to do?
The street named Sobers from Barbados.
How you call him?
Sobers.
Yeah, the magistrate Sobers.
And his order was a bottle of milk and $5 a week.
That was back in the 70s, man, early 80s.
Yeah. But
How much you said?
He's a powerful woman, you hear?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the last thing I'm going to say. A lot of men hate woman because they cannot eat the food that the woman is eating. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, I won't try to decipher that one on radio, but that's a whole different story for a different time. So the heat wave now, yes, we have to pay attention to our elders, make sure they're properly hydrated. Those who live by themselves, check on them pretty often as you can. We go back to the phone lines and go to caller, you live on Voices.
Yeah, Socrates.
Yes, sir.
Good day again.
Mm-hmm.
It's me. Now, I'd like to quickly say something.
Go right ahead.
You see, a lot of people want the Bible to say what they want the Bible to say, rather than they go along and agree with the Bible for what the Bible is trying to tell us.
The one who want interpretation?
Yeah, we want to force our modern day thinking on the Bible, rather than say to the Bible, this is what the Bible said, and I agree with the Bible, irrespective of our modern day thinking. You see, we ain't want to do that. We want to put our modern day thinking and political correctness.
Interpretations.
Right, our wrong interpretation, our wrong modern interpretation. We want to put it on the Bible. We need to read the Bible for what the Bible says, whether we like it yes or not, and accept what the Bible says and go along with what the Bible says. For example, again, in Isaiah chapter 3, God mocked, scorned, and rebuked Israel in Isaiah chapter 3 for having women and children as the leaders. You see, it's not a matter of hating women. It's a matter of recognizing the order God gave us to live in. Because, you know, these are scriptures that people try to ignore and run from, all who want to go to the Bible with their modern way of thinking. Read Isaiah chapter 3, where you see God mock, scorned, and rebuke Israel for having children and women as the leaders. You see, Miss Henry likes to say, oh, that was an agricultural society. That is why you had the woman and the men way of roles and that sort of stuff in the Bible. No, it wasn't because they were an agricultural society. Yes, there were an agricultural society. Yes, that is true. But that's not the reason why God ascribed the different roles to men and to women. The reason why God ascribed the different roles to men and women, as you will see in 1 Timothy chapter 2, where God says, the woman was created after the man, and she came from the man. And not only that, it was the woman who was deceived by the devil and not the man. The man disobeyed. the God. The man disobeyed God, but he didn't disobey God because he was deceived. He disobeyed God intentionally with his eyes them wide open. Whereas the woman was deceived, and that's why she disobeyed God. And these are the reasons given why God ascribed the role that he ascribed to men in the Bible and ascribed the roles to women that he has given them in the Bible. It isn't because they were an agricultural society, which they were, yes. And it isn't because...
So are you advocating that women are much easier deceived?
Well, that's the reason God gave. I don't know if that is implying women are easier
easily deceived.
Easier to
because that's the insinuation.
I don't think that is implying that.
That's the insinuation.
Yes, but God says at the beginning, it was the woman who was deceived,
Mm-hmm.
and the man he acted intentionally with the eyes wide open. So this is one of the reasons why God set out men as the head. And not only that, he also added to that, woman came from man. Man did not come from woman. It was the man who was created first. Another reason why God placed man as the head.
So then, in that context, women should never be seen as equals?
No. Women should be seen as equals where human beings concerned. But we are not all equal in everything. Because, for example,
in the roles,
me and you are not equal in strength. You are stronger than me. You are taller than me.
Really?
Well, you are taller than me and you are stronger than me, yeah.
I'm only messing with you.
Hello?
I'm only messing with you.
Yeah, not only that, me and the Prime Minister, we are equal as humans, but we are not equal in authority and power. He have much more than me. So we are not equal in every area of
in terms of the roles that we play, in terms of the role we play in life.
Roles, right. But because as humans, we are all equals as humans. Nobody is more human than any other, or lesser human than any other. But in the roles that we play, some roles carry more authority than others. And we have to recognize that. So men and women are equal as human beings and where human rights are concerned. But in the roles that we are playing, that we live out and is delegated to us by God, certain roles, the role of the man carries more authority than the woman.
There are some. I'm going to answer this question for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
To those who think that you are outdated, your position is that you're not. You're in tune and keep it in times with the Bible.
With the Bible, right.
Which is steadfast. In terms of what it teaches, you shouldn't change to adapt to quote-unquote modern times. That's your position.
Right. I'm not going to the Bible with my modern way of thinking. I'm going to interpret the modern way of thinking, be it right or wrong, based upon what the Bible says. But Socrates, I had to say something. I hear said something even before I called in. I think what happens is that you're getting mixed up between the Muslim belief concerning women and the Christian belief concerning women. Because it's in the Muslim belief, women got to dress a certain way. I'm the Bible tells women to dress modestly.
Even in the Christian faith, she has to cover her head, she has to do this and all that.
That's the Muslim. No, that ain't Christian.
It's not Christian.
That is not Christian. That's Muslim.
Okay, thanks for the correction.
That's Muslim. Not Christianity doesn't teach a woman how to cover up and her head and them sort of stuff. It just tells women to dress modestly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the correction.
So I think you're really getting mixed up with the Muslim belief concerning women and the Christian belief concerning women. Because, for example, another thing, in the Muslim court of law, it takes two women to equal the testimony of one man. Take two testimonies, take two women to equal the one testimony of a man. That's all the stuff. So people get mixed up between what Christianity teaches from the Bible and what the Muslims do teach.
Are you in agreement with that?
Hello?
Are you in agreement with that?
No, I'm not in agreement with the Muslim because the Muslim belief go against the Bible. Anything that goes against the Bible, I'm in total disagreement with it because it is sinful.
Okay.
Yeah, including our modern way of thinking. And secondly, sorry, Huldah that Miss Henry spoke about, she was not, I myself have made a mistake, but I've done some research just not too long ago. Huldah was not a leader in Israel, really. She was a prophetess. The leader at that time was King Josiah. And they called on Huldah to to tell them what God have to say concerning a situation. But the king, the leader of Israel, the leader of the kingdom of Judah was really King Josiah. Deborah was a sort of a de facto leader, not because she put up herself, but because at the time of her time, Israel was in such spiritual decadency and such spiritual degeneracy that God apparently just used to use Deborah. And because God used to speak to Deborah, people would gather unto Deborah to listen to what God had to say. It ain't because she put up herself, it's because God brought the people to listen to what Huldah had to say. But Huldah herself tried to set them straight by trying to make a man. I think his sister or something like that name, to be the leader, because she realized a woman wasn't supposed to be leader, and she tried to encourage a man to be the leader. But there was in such spiritual decadency that the man refused and said, "Man, go fight unless you come with me." And Huldah told him, because you refuse to go and demand that I come with you, the glory of the war, who win the war, will not go to you. That was the kind of spiritual sissiness and decadency that Israel was in at the time. And Huldah, as the de facto leader, so-called, was a sign from God that you all are under God's judgment, you all are disobeying the word of God. Get right with the Bible.
Okay.
That was Huldah represented to the people.
Here's what.
Okay, thank you, Socrates.
Oh, yes, you're much welcome. I'm actually happy for this platform that WINFM provides for this discourse between, like, Sister Henry, Gregory, and I'm waiting to hear from the gentleman from Montserrat. He keeps advocating you guys need to put a WhatsApp line in place so they can call without costing them. I would like to hear what you have to say. Let's take this next caller. Good day, caller. You're live on Voices.
Greetings and love, King.
With respect. Always lovely hearing from you.
Right. What's here? The Marcus Garvey story. Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. So Marcus Garvey wasn't living in St. Anne in Jamaica.
The record says he was born in St. Anne's Bay.
In Jamaica.
And there's a record that says he was born in St. Anne's in Sandy Point. So you have the St. Anne's on both of his birth certificates.
St. Anne in Jamaica too.
St. Anne's Bay. St. Anne's Bay. That's his way he said he was born.
Yeah, but I think he had parish St. Anne.
Of course he do.
Yeah, so me I say, it's like, I mean, is it a coincidence he born in St. Anne in St. Kitts and live in St. Anne in Jamaica?
Quite possible.
Huh?
Quite possible. But in any way you find there's a St. Anne's that features in his early infancy.
Yeah.
And if you heard the story about from Miss Yvonne Lambie.
I miss the coincidence, King. I'm telling you the truth, you know.
Uh-huh.
So if I tell you, well, Marcus Garvey is my great uncle. You believe me?
I won't automatically believe you. You have to bring corroborating facts. What I'm saying, based on the fact that I did a story about him being born in St. Kitts, based on documents given to me by, forget his name, we call him Flimpo in Sandy Point, Derek Hazel.
Sure.
And he brought documents about, based on his research, triggered by something his mother said to him. So here's it now, years after, I did this about 4 years ago, years after, this lady on a cruise passing through St. Kitts engaged me in conversation to let me know she's 95 years old, her father is from St. Kitts, and he told her, and she mentioned when he was born, what year he left St. Kitts, etc., that Marcus Garvey, based on his knowledge, was born not in Jamaica, but in St. Kitts. And that her father worked along with Marcus Garvey in fundraisers, trying to raise money to buy the Black Star Liner.
Oh.
Powerful history.
We touch on the Black Star Liner thing. You see, Marcus Garvey was big on repatriation, right?
Correct. But she's saying her father was part of raising funds, working with him to buy that boat.
Good. So me I say no. How come the fire cool off? If Marcus Garvey from SK, right? And Marcus Garvey is the man who deal with repatriation business. How come the fire they cool off? How come we not deal with repatriation no more? How come we being seen
throughout the world, not only St. Kitts, not only Jamaica, the whole movement, right, has waned, is not gaining traction, momentum.
So how come that, you know what I mean? Because I say, remember the man, the fireman was start the fire, there was some saying it according to what you play forward and, you know what I mean, the information you gather, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the push for repatriation should be bigger on you because it was a big thing for Marcus Garvey because he went
Well, he wasn't recognized as being born in St. Kitts.
Huh?
He wasn't recognized as being born in St. Kitts. The claims are, and have always been, that he was actually born in Jamaica because he left Jamaica to go directly to New York. He didn't live in St. Kitts.
But what's saying, right? Okay, where he born in St. Kitts or he born in Jamaica, the reality is that he born, right?
Correct.
So Marcus Garvey born, and Marcus Garvey formed an organization to try to repatriate black people, and forward to where we come from.
Correct.
Right? And what I'm saying, the vision there of Marcus Garvey is a serious vision because look what's going on in Africa, you know, King. I say how long time Marcus Garvey tell us if we move forward to Africa. No space not to live in Africa for we, you know, watch ya. Arabs buying up a lot of land in Africa, right? I don't know for Chinese. European want their own country down there. Indians. Right? Who live out? Chinese, I don't say Chinese. So where we going fit in when all of that? When all of that they're done. Where we going fit in? You understand? So if you say this matter of repatriation is a matter that we don't just sweep it under the rug. You know what I mean? It's a serious thing because when they say Africa go down or Africa suffer, it's we they're talking about, you know, it's we name Africa, you know, not necessarily the land, you know. It's we name Africa. We the people name Africa. It's we the homeless, we the one who ain't own nothing. We got land, God give us a land and we ain't own it.
I think the challenges is that we get caught up in our very own sense of survival, our own individual sense of survival. And based on the government structure that we live in, it's very difficult for us to assimilate with that mindset, right? Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was very much influenced by Marcus Garvey. The black star in the Ghanaian flag was inspired by Marcus Garvey. When you go to the Slave Coast Castle, you see pictures of Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Dr. Nkrumah, and others, all of the same mindset over the eons of time, with the influence of other nations that don't have our interest at heart. They were discouraged that movement back to Africa. And then you wonder what they go back to.
And one last thing, remember Marcus Garvey also say, you know, none but yourself could free your mind. You understand? So we don't need to have to sit down and wait for no anybody else to show us what we need.
That is true, but we don't have a oneness of purpose. We as a people do not have a oneness of purpose.
That we must be working on them because it's in our best interest, you know. Because all these are the things that we're doing, you know.
I understand that.
Yet, you know. You know what I mean? We still in captivity, you know. We're still in captivity.
I agree with you.
We don't control nothing. And you see, like in a lot of places in Africa, I mean, the only brothers I see trying to free themselves is down in Mali and Burkina Faso, them region, the Sahel region, you know. So it's like, I don't know when again, but give thanks for the time, King, you know what I mean?
Much appreciated. I'll respect your point of view. Of the 54 countries in Africa, there are only 4 that we can say we have really, really kicked out Europeans and are really fighting to be on their own. Of the 54, only 3. So when we look at that now, we don't have a oneness of purpose. We go back to the phone lines, call your live on Voices. And this may be the last call. Caller, are you there? We are actually out of time. Okay, let's take this call. Good day, caller, you're live on Voices.
Kingston, thanks for taking the call. Lunchtime,
About an hour ago, Jamsa asked, where are you? He wanted to hear from you. So you're here now.
Jamsa be yourself. I know how to reach me. If me not reach him...
No, on the topic. He wanted you to weigh in on the topic.
Yeah, on the topic. Telepathic communication always a flame. Things happen, you know. Marcus Garvey boy think it's worth the world. Things happen. Me have 2 board paper. I find myself one time with 2 board paper, you know. One said 1944, the 10th of April, and one said 1954, the 17th of April.
There you go. 10 years apart.
Yes, so things happen. But we have to bear in mind, say, that to make a claim him still, you know, that he bought there. Because we live down with you with the claim him and place where he born, their sentence, etc., etc. So, this thing I forgot to start out. Now, what we want to say quickly concerning another matter is, you see, we wasting energy and time with this talking about religion and Bible. Because the religion is personal and the Bible is all about religion. And I think we would stop going down the road there. We would stop it. We're wasting energy, we're wasting time, and we're doing it on a premise where we not forget there. There is other things, there's other topics and reasoning that we can hold. We will stop waste time talking about Bible and see where we go now. We go now upon woman, no food. All them things is Christendom thing. What is a man? A man is a human being. What is a human? A woman is a human being same way. Equal vibration. We would not waste time with them thing, the man. Who will say ever bring them argument to the fore before just them back with it, man. Just don't prolong it. Please.
Got you.
Blessed love.
Okay, blessed love. And with the last caller, we now come to the end of today's presentation of Voices. It's been a pleasure. We want to thank all our viewers and listeners for joining us. Let you know that without your involvement, this is not possible. Hopefully, God's willing, I'll be back on Friday to continue the course and debates, local, regional, and international. Rosemary, Anastasia, Mighty J, Amber, down in Anguilla. Stop messing with me, Amber. Right? Love you guys. Have a most wonderful day. Bye.
Portsmouth's Value Mart IGA is helping you spend less and save more. How, you ask?